All right. Free weights. Free weights, I think, are inferior. The inferior method of working out. I think you should be using resistance bands, uh, because of one, the mechanical motion, right? Like when you swing a weight at the top here, you're losing. There's no more pressure being pulled. Like if you're trying to work that hammer. If you pull here, once you get the weight to here, there's no stress on your brachialis because the weight's pushing down. But if you have a resistance band, as you pull it this way, you're still going to be getting that down pressure this way. Also, this is the bigger. Not just is it like mechanically better, right? Like not only are you just working the range of motion better, but since the resistance band gets harder to stretch as you reach the top of your motion, you actually start having to strain more, right? Which makes your brain, and there's two parts to working out. There's your body's ability to push or move a weight, okay? Now, you could take two people with the same physical ability to move a weight, but one can move more weight. Why? Because there's two components to moving a weight. First, we just talked about the body's physical ability to move a weight, like a car's physical ability to go fast. Then the second part is the engine and CPU's ability to tell the car how fast to go. So if your CPU maxes out at 12,000 RPM, that's as high and fast as you're able to push your body, even if your body is able to go to a higher level of stress or pressure. Where resistance band, the harder it gets, it's more, and you're having to physically push harder and make a mental connection that will allow you to push harder in the future. Whereas where a weight, when you get to the top, it's like a whoom, and you picture like a great representation would be dyno charts. If you know anything about cars, like a regular dyno chart will go up and then it drops off. A resistance band dyno chart is just going to go higher and higher, and you're going to follow that. Like that's how when you stress your muscles, they're going to follow how you stress them. So if you stress and then have a drop off, that's going to be your gains as well. You're going to have a point where your gains just start dropping off, and it's because you're not connecting the body's ability to push and strain and stress, and your body's actually pushing, straining, and stressing. So put down the free weights. They're fucking horrible. They're expensive. They're all about ego. It's just, hey, look, I put 170 pounds in the bar. I lifted 200. Nobody lifts more weight than I do. It's just so stupid, bro. And on top of that, you can get like 400 pounds of resistance for like $30, right? Like I got 4 bands, a 20, a 40, a 60, and 80. And they like compound when you put them together. So like the 60 and the 80 is not 140, it's like 200 or something. I don't know, maybe I'm just making that part up. But yeah, for $26 you can get a whole set of bands, and they're long. You can do push-ups on them, you can do pull-ups, you can do everything you can do with weights. They're just cheaper, they're easier. Bro, I got 4 bands, you can put them in a bag, you can bring them anywhere, right? So you don't need to lug a whole gym around with you. And it also, when you work out with bands, if you've ever hurt yourself physically, like, and needed physical therapy, and you've gone to physical therapy, do you know what they give you to work out with? Mostly bands, because of the way the band works. It actually is a therapeutic. So when you work out with bands, not only are you working out to gain, you're also conditioning your body not to blow up. This is why when you see people tearing quads, you ever see somebody pop a pectoral muscle doing bands? No, I've never seen it. Maybe because people don't do bands as much, but I also think the way the bands work, you're not starting with 350 pounds. So it's like, pop. You get there, and your body always gets to the weight that it can get to, which is much, much safer. So bands over weights, not just for safety, not just for quality, not just for aesthetics, but for mobility, where you can put them in a backpack. Bands beat weights. I don't think the only thing weights have going for them is like the iPhone. It's more marketable. I lifted 620, bro. Nobody wants to be like, oh, I curled 3 green bands. Like, nobody gives a shit. That's not... So it's ego. It's all fucking ego. And I don't work out for ego. I work out for results so I can beat your ass and then feed my ego.